Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Lilian's Couch. On today's episode, I have one of the biggest designers in the world. Actually, we have to promote our own. It's not just Africa because now she's international. VeeKee
Is the hype for
James.
me?
No, but it's the truth. If we
Thank
don't
you,
have
Lilian.
hype our own, who would?
I know.
So wait, is your name Vicky? Because I've been meaning to ask. Is that your brand name or your name is VeeKee James?
Well, it's also my name because Vicky is like a short form for Victoria, and James is my last name. So I don't know. I just thought, if I want to say Vicky, how do I spell Vicky to stand out from the usual way everybody spells
Vicky,
it?
that's like V.
That's how I came up with VEEKEE.
Oh.
And I like that it sounds international.
It does, VeeKee James. You're international, my friend. Doesn't only mean that wear your clothes for
Thank
this
you,
world.
Lilian.
Hey.
Soon.
But quick one, I just want to dive into it, right? How did you take over? Because I mean, when I did my research, I saw it like it was you took over your mother's, right? Like she used to be a designer. And how was the journey? How did you?
So, well, my mom was a tailor in Ajegunle because I grew up in Ajegunle, Papa. So every time I get asked this question, I always say that I didn't know I was going to be a fashion designer in the future because it wasn't something that I liked to do for business. I just like to make dresses for myself because I felt like I'm the only person who understands my style, understands my body and everything. I think when I went to school in 2012. I was into like makeup and bridal hairstyling because I learned how to make hair before I traveled. So, but when I moved back to Lagos in 2018 after school, everybody I know was into makeup already. So I was like, if I have 10 friends, they are all doing makeup, or maybe their sisters are into makeup. So I'm like, how will I get referrals? That's why when you're trying to start a business, you have to put like wisdom into it, pray to God about it so that you don't make mistakes. Because God just told me, look, if you go into this makeup, fine, you make money, but you would not, achieve your dreams. Because I want to. My goal has always been to stand out in anything I do. So that was when God said, okay, so the next talent you have is, fashion designing. Why don't you try to see how it works? And I think I started sewing from my mom's parlor because she had a store, but she had so many girls, and I wanted to do something different from what my mom was doing. Because the reason why I never wanted to go into this business was because I thought it was a cheap job. Because I used to see how my mom used to charge like 1,500 for making a complete dress, and I'm like, what kind of suffering is this one? I'll work for days and make 1,500. Inside that 1,500, I'll still buy zip, buy thread. So I was like, this thing is a poor man's job. So I started from my mom's parlor, and I was doing my own thing, different from what my mom was doing. I was doing fashion designing. And in just a few months, I mean, everything just changed. Like, God just changed my life. I started making money. And I realized that I started growing passion for the job more. I started growing passion for making dresses for people, not just myself. And in a matter of 4 to 5 or 6 months, I was able to get my own place in Magodo, Yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing because I feel like finding your niche in Nigeria is very hard. Because even me, it was even till now. I think it's just now I'm beginning to really find myself in the industry and find what is peculiar to my person. Because sometimes you feel like, it's by doing this or being an actress or is this tiniest thing that you even least expect. Because what God has shown me now that I'm doing is completely
Different from what you
it's
thought.
nothing I have to try so hard. It just comes naturally. And the outcome I'm getting from it, I'm getting my first hosting gig ever from just because I'm speaking pidgin English online. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm thinking, so all the work I've been doing over the years, what does it amount to? And I'm like, okay. And then I'm getting certain things, that bring certain amounts of money that I've been waiting for so long and, doing so much, doing fake life, doing this. And then now I'm just not even having to try so hard to get it, right? So I completely understand. But then, when you talk about queen of snatching waist, personally, you never snatch my waist from Lagos. Waiting, I be not like my waist tiny. Vicky, I beg.
No, we'll go
me.
soon. We'll go soon.
Snatch my waist tiny. Waiting.
Lilian, but why are you acting humble?
But what, I'm humble
all those
now.
Videos and pictures where you give us.
Vicky, that you're snatching.
The gold dress that Matopeda made for you. I was like, what?
It might not be niche with it, but
I don't even see your waist. Please just stop.
See, okay, but this your waist snatching. It's like you've now carved it, like now you did snatch waist. Like everybody, because it's so funny that whenever even designers tell me that no, for designers, you know how sometimes when you're in the same industry, people can be very funny.
Yeah.
But for designers that are doing so well to acknowledge that Vicky they snatch Like,
Well,
how did you do? Because now it's like you've carved that thing and you're just there. Like, and the branding, how did you come about that?
well, I understand what you're saying because even I myself, I think sometime last week I was going through I made a post recently. I think the post was about 7 of my dresses that broke the internet in 2019 and 2020. Even as I was looking at them, I'm like, oh boy, this like it's been consistent since like years back. I was just at people's waist. I'm like, that means it was something I was doing intentionally, like just unconsciously, because it's not when I started then, I don't think I was like a vain person with, body and all of that. But I think it's just something that God knew that would stand me out. And he just put it there for me because I was very particular about measurements, waist measurements, I was very particular about your waist being small, your hip being there. But how I did it, I don't know. It's just now that I know that so many people who follow me, who look out for my brand or who look up to my brand, the first things they always say is, it's the corset for me, it's the waist for me. So now I'm very like conscious when I'm making dresses. I'm like, the waist, the waist. So I don't think there's a reason. I just feel like I'm very intentional about it. When I make any dress, apart from the design, standing out, apart from the finishing being on point, the waist is always primary to me.
Don't worry about it. I know. You don't even have to say it. Explain everything in English. I can feel it. I've seen it. I understand it. So say no more. But then talking about spirituality. Vicky, you made me sometimes say I won't go sleep for church. Do you know that? Yeah. So initially I was never this spiritual. I used to be a Christian. I love God.
Yeah.
I was one of those, I'm a religion. I'm a Christian. But I didn't really have a relation. Now, maybe because I have a relationship with God, I can now say that, I didn't have a relationship. I think God was just, I was that Christian that when something don't hook me, I'll now come back, cry, God, it's only you I have, God, please. He will now fix it. When he fixed it, and I'll go back, and I'll just sit there.
I can relate.
So I was that person before. So, but because he kept, coming through for me, kept coming through.
Exactly.
I kept relaxing.
Exactly.
So I think I had to get to a point where he said, I know this girl, you stay one place. Like, and then now I now have a relationship with him, right? But why some people shy away from putting their spirituality on social media or talking about their faith because of the way people will see, or people will overanalyze, or people would. But you know how to put your spirituality out there and stand your ground and say, how? Because I know sometimes there's some things I want to just beg. I don't want it, but let me just talk to my God on my own and just
what you're saying. I think that's why people say it takes a lot to serve God unashamedly. And that means that for you to serve God unashamedly, you have to be public about him. There's nothing to hide, right? Even the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. So in life, everything that happens around you, everything that you do, the number one thing that should be on top of your list of like the things that you must do in life is to seek God's kingdom first, So that's it for me. I told you, I can relate to what you're saying because there was a time in my life also where I was more concerned about my work, when I was in Akwa Ibom before I moved to Lagos, I was a very, very spiritual person. My relationship with God was top notch. Like I could literally discern things every now and then. But then when I moved back, I got so distracted with work. I put like 100% of my time into work. Like I didn't even care about my health or anything. I was working 24 hours. I didn't have any time to pray to God. I was still going to church, obviously, because of my mom. Now, when I moved to the island, I think 1 year, 6 months later, I now got even more distracted because here there's nobody to tell me what to do. Do you get? So and then workload now doubled, tripled. So I was basically on my own. Not like I lost faith in God, no. Do you understand? But I just lost the way.
Direction.
I just lost the way. But the truth is that all through those times where I neglected God, God never abandoned me.
He was always there.
Like he was always there. Do you understand? He was always there. I never failed at anything I tried to do. Nothing. I remember there was a competition I entered for. That was even the money I got from that competition added to the money I was saving to move to the island. Competition was about I won about 750K, and that was like a lot of money for me to just enter my accounts. So that was also the time where I was far from God. That competition, the morning of that competition, I almost didn't go for the competition because one of the dresses I was working on just flopped. I just told my mom I'm not going. And they gave us call time for like 7 a.m. I got there for 9. I wasn't thinking they would cancel me. They allowed me to enter and everything. And I won. You know, a lot of people put in a lot of effort, but God always comes through for me. So I think it was this year that I decided that I was going to, you know, carry God on my head and basically just come out. I've always known that there's a calling upon my life, you know. I'm in the worship ministry.
Zion.
I've always been running away from it. I've always been in the choir. I've always been a choir leader right from when I grew up, you know. So where I started from was I was in church, Harvesters, and I had an encounter with God. It was literally like I was there in church, but I wasn't there. Do you understand? I was in a different atmosphere. When you have an encounter with God, you know. Do you get? It was like God was talking to me directly, and it was like, okay, so you came to Lagos, you abandoned me, you know, you forgot about me. I made you everything that you are, and you just forgot that it was me. Do you understand? If things go bad. So it was like God was threatening me that, oh, I gave you a voice to, you know, spread my word to the people, to win souls for me, which is the only thing I can do for God in return for all the things that He's done for me, right? So it was like God was threatening me that from today, if I don't start what He's called me to do, and if I don't surrender my life 100% to Him, like it was going to be the end for me. In church, it was worship going on. Immediately I carried my phone. It was like I promised God that there's no going back, and this is it. I carried my phone. I told my brother, look, I need a full music set because my brother handles the accounts. I'm like, I need it this week. And he's like, where is this coming from? I'm like, I need it this week. And that was how Zion worship started, you know. And I started building my spiritual life. I started building my relationship with God, you know, from time, even before I came out on Instagram. Some of my friends were like, VeeKee, are you sure you want to do this? Okay, why don't you just do this inside the house? I'm like, no. What I heard was not inside the house.
Yes.
What I heard was go out, bring people together to worship me. This is, I'm not saying open a church. This is your calling. This is your ministry, right? Reach out to people. There are souls that need to be saved. The first week that I started doing that, the amount of DMs I got, Lilian, of people telling me how they wanted to take their own life, how this has encouraged them, how they couldn't even mention God's name because they felt like they were not worth it, you know, how they didn't think that they could live a Christian life and still balance work and still be friends with people. They thought that if they want to live a Christian life, they have to, you know, abandon so many people because they still see me relate to all the people I relate with. Do you understand? I mean, I don't understand that they were all God's children. Do you get? It's just when you start your walk with God, you would grow on your own. Like God would tell you the right things to do. And in the process of doing that, God would never tell you to abandon anybody or to stop talking to anybody or to stop being friends with anybody because everyone has their journey with God. Exactly. And through you, one person can be changed. Through you, anybody can start their relationship with God. And I know a lot of my friends who have followed suit just on their own. Some of them will be like, oh, VeeKee, I'm not even going to lie. Because of the posts you make, because of your life right now, I have a different relationship with God. Like my life with God, my life has changed. And it's just, and sometimes I'll just be, oh, okay. This was what God wanted and it's happening. Sometimes it will be hard. Like the devil will just try to, like, what are you doing? Tomorrow night you still come out and walk naked on Instagram and they will still drag you. I'm like, no problem. If I come out tomorrow and walk naked on Instagram, God will still drag me back.
Period.
But the prayer is not for it to happen, right? So that's just
because
it.
I feel like, so for me, I'm just at a point where now, VeeKee, I ask God for the stupid, like things, like I ask God for everything. When I was talking about my account of one of my stories online, and I said how I was pooping on the road and I had to pray to God to stop it, and He stopped it. It looked funny to people, but it happened. When I'm going through like traffic, little as traffic in Lagos, if I'm going now, God please, I really need to get here on time. I really don't want traffic. And there will be no traffic. I'm sorry, God. So I think I'm getting to the point where the little things I ask Him, and we are now that I depend, because now I feel like God is also a jealous God. He wants you to Himself.
Yes.
He wants you. He wants you to ask Him for everything.
100%.
And the devil used to always make me feel like, maybe I beg you will not answer. You see what you've been doing. See the way you've been behaving. Then me, I will not shy. I will not act. I will not. If I want to pray, I will not pray. I will not, God, I'm doing this. And then meanwhile, guess what? My new church I'm going to now, my pastor always say, God is just there waiting.
He's actually just there
Talk
waiting.
to me. I'm inside. And then the Holy Spirit's already inside of us. So when you start acting, the Holy Spirit, he will not just come out of you and say, I'm going. He's inside of you. So he's there.
He just needs to be activated.
He just needs to be activated. He just needs to say, God, I need you. I'm sorry. I'm here. Help me. And now I realize that nobody can. Me, I don't know how anybody has their own relationship with God. But me, if I'm a human being, I would err. I would fall, off the radar. But I will still come back. So I think I'm just happy that I can. Before I never used to be, confident about. No, I don't care. I really don't care how anybody sees. The things God have done for me this year, it's not even financial because I didn't even ask him. Though that will be added, right? I only asked God for 2 things. Beginning of this year, and he did it. Did it in the funniest way. And now I've realized that it's only him because people have left me. I've been stranded. I've lost so much. And then I've realized that even with so much money in the world, you can still not have peace. So the only person that can give you that peace is God. So what are we fighting? What are you really fighting for at the end of the day? So, but anyway, this brings me back to when you invited me for the VeeKee James Gala you did. God bless you. I'm going to say that first. And the day when you invited me, guess what? It was not coming. I was dealing with so much. I was having anxiety. I didn't want to see people. I didn't want to. But immediately I saw what you were trying to do. I'm like, even if I'm in my sick bed, I'll get up. I messaged her. I said, I have this VeeKee thing. I'm this. Just give me any dress that is there. She said, no, let's make a new dress. She said, Gala, let's go all out. She made that dress in how many hours? She's like, no, let's go, let's make it nice, And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever, like, let's go. And then when I came there, I saw Vicky, you don't even know when I went out, when I saw excitement, I saw people shake. People came from far. There was a girl I gave money. Some girls I gave money to go sleep in the hotel because they said we were going to go back to Ogun State. I remember me and Tolu were outside. We're not saying, no, take money. Sleep in a hotel in Lagos, go tomorrow. Just even though I know that they will still strong.
Yes, they'll still go.
I know they will still go enter that road back to that thing. But I saw people happy.
Yeah.
You changed people's life. And I say, why I say, people keep saying the economy. We get it. But as individuals, do your own first. One person you help can help another person. That person can help another person. And I don't know how you started it. This, people say philanthropism and everything, but man, girl, I don't know how you're doing it.
I'm not even going to lie. I don't know how I did that event. It's just God. Like everything I say, I always say it's just God. And people are like, so can I even have a conversation without putting God? But it's true. I planned that event from 1 month from when I thought about it. Just so it was when I hit 500K on Instagram and I posted, I'm like, oh, what should we do for 500K? And people are saying, oh, do a meet and greet, oh, do a masterclass, oh, do giveaway, oh, do sponsorship, oh, do scholarship, give your brides this. So I'm like, okay, obviously I cannot do all these things. And I'm like, okay, let's just do a meet and greet. That was the plan. I told my brother, let's do a meet and greet. Let people come, we'll give some brides discounts and all of that. The next day, obviously, like, I tried to pray at least, I pray like almost every day. Except maybe I'm exhausted and I'm just so tired. Even if I'll still wake up blaming myself that I didn't pray, right? I woke up and I'm like, look, I don't want this thing to just be a regular meet and greet. I want it to be this. My brother is like, the place where you don't go, you don't too much. Oh. The next day I woke up, I'm like, we need to get a hall. And he's like, how? From where? Which accounts? You just literally said this thing, like, God will provide. Let's look for hall. He thought we're going to look for like cheap halls and all of that. I started saying, we need to go to a hotel, we need to go to 5 Palms, we need to go to Monarch. He's like, Monarch? How? So we said, okay, 5 Palms. Okay, let's talk to them. Let's get half of the space. We stuck to half. The next day I said, we need the full space. I wasn't even sure if people were going to come. I just said, we need the full space, and we paid for the full space. I spent millions of money on that event. I did not get one sponsor, apart from Monty Suits. They sponsored us with like hotel rooms. They sponsored the buffet. In fact, there was no plan for that. It was like a week before the event. They said, okay, they were going to sponsor all of that. So they became our lead sponsor. Then One Neck has sponsored. Extra Bite sent sewing machines and some cash. People started supporting. But like the actual million spent on that event was from my account. I even wanted to do an event for Zion Worship this year. My brother is like, no, there's no money for that. Wait till next year. So it was just God. And I put 12 p.m. as time for red carpet. I'm not even going to lie. That 12 p.m. was 2 p.m. Lilian. At 1 p.m., they sent me a video. The place was packed.
Are you telling me? I was here. I saw people
At 1 p.m.
As I'm coming,
like, I wanted to cry. I'm like, this is my first ever. I've never done an event before. This is my first event. How did they? I don't like, it's money we are giving out. Do you understand? But it's not for everybody. We already know the set of people that will get this money. But everybody came out, and this was so full and packed. Like, I can't wait for next year. So, I mean, it's just God.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you too.
It's just, I don't know. I just pray you get everything you deserve. Guys, we need to go into the Akanjawa segment. Vicky, this segment, you go tell us for Pidgin English. Sabi speak Pidgin English.
Yes, I'll be a Jagulek babe. I grew up a Jagulek.
So you know the fucking on Instagram.
I don't
So
understand.
now,
Babasule Street. Oko Babasule.
So now you need to tell us what are the most embarrassing things that happened to you or funniest things that happened to you in Pidgin English. Normally, now me they talk a cultural story, but today now my guests they talk no.
You mean like all through my life?
All through your life. I mean adult life, because childhood was boring.
I think it would be when 419. Pidgin
English. Cannot think. I think.
It'd be like say the most embarrassing or one moment of my life, years back. But I mean, they go give my uncle food for Ladipo where he break leg. Everybody know Ladipo.
Where they set tire now.
Yes, they get leg clinic for there. Oh boy, as I just come out for bus, now so like 3 people. One guy just come say, Auntie, I beg, I need your help. I beg, you need to help me. You get one DC, one money, we are one count, they won't cheat me. I say, see me now, that time I be Jesus baby. My Jesus baby that time, he's strong person. I say, hey, what thing happen? Before I go talk, this one come say, Auntie, what is this brother define? And he say, I beg, help me beg this auntie, make him help me. I beg, as I just listen to them for 1 minute, I don't go. Before I know, I see myself inside bus. From bus, I see myself inside bike. From bike, I see myself on one street. Now me pay all the transport for 3 of us. They say they want change dollars. Say the guy na foreigner, they do business. Say na me go help them count the money. So when I finish, them go settle me for dollars. They collect this hot super cook for my uncle, chop for my front. Touchlight phone what they use, they collect them. 2.5 where I owe, they collect them.
No.
They call say, oh, be my mama, be my papa. You know, say I don't that time, I don't sew one Ankara for myself that year. They call say my papa. I say, oh, be your papa. Say my papa don't die when I did 5 years old. They call say, I say so that bad market. Now they say, what's your mama they do? I say, my man a tailor for a Jagula. I say, tailor, you sure? This kind of tailor your mama they do. I say, tailor, this tailor they collect 115. They say, I say, you good tailor, I want change my life. And they say, bring this your phone first, more use and make one. I say, the first collect that one, collect the 2.5 in case that's the only thing they want to see for my hand. Where their time no waste. So then bring prophets. Prophets say, it's a bit dream where we are. If you dream, wake up. I say, yes, I did dream where. And they see this for dream. I don't know, say, now normal life situation where they are put to everybody. Now prophet say, say this thing won't happen so. Say in God don't show a vision, say dollars and pounds, different things stay for our house. Say I go house now. Say when I go, they'll give me 200 naira transport. They call it the 2.5, give me 200. So when I reach house, even the 200 no carry me reach house, leave me on. I reach one bus stop, I just beg one bike. Say me carry me go. So when I reach, I go see one give me money. They come tell me say if I no come back with money, say I go die that day. Say we won't swear oaths. That's how we swear oaths. The prophets come, you know the one always scam me for life. I no go ever forget. If I dey talk, I dey won't cry. That's what the prophet say. If I won't believe, say me read prophet. Say make I pour saliva for my hand. Hey! Say if I pour the saliva, I go put his hand under my hand. Say I go close my eye for 10 seconds. So when I open my eye, say I go see the saliva for the back of my hands. Say if I see the saliva, say me I go lick and sharp if I no want die. That's how I close. I open her eyes. Saliva say Jesus, I lick him. Lilian! Now when my eye clear for night, so I reach house. Now I'm not saying that guy saliva I leak. Because how I go close eye. Person put hand under my... Show me like saliva. He say make I wait. My saliva what I put, it don't dry for my hands for 10 seconds. They say make I go house. That's how I reach house. I come, they scatter all my mama things. I scatter. You see how this place be? I come out to the plant one by one, they shake and they say, the prophet say money day inside, different currency. And they say if anybody see me, they can't find that money. Say the person go run mad. That's why I enter house. Thankfully, my brothers don't go outside. I lock everywhere. My brothers, they knock, say, come on, open door. We want change. I say, change for me. I don't go run mad on top my matter. I scatter every rich pot. One kobo. I don't see. My mama broke die. One kobo. They believe say money day somewhere where my mama they hide. So then one of our neighbor where they do contribution, the whole contribution for my mom. They don't knock the tire. I don't know say they won't give me money to keep for my mama. Thank God say I no open door.
Before you collect that contribution money go.
I say as scatter house, see everywhere. You know if you see where to pass, it be like mad person house. Because I don't see money, so I come out. Then tell me say if I see the money, make I call this phone number. Say me once I call, say make I not talk with the MBO. Make I talk say hello pastor, I don't see the Bible. Say they go tell me make I come back. That's why I go rich. I don't get money to make call. That's why I beg Auntie Bimbo, I beg. I don't go forget. Please make I make call with your call center day that time. Say if my mama come back, she go give you the money. Now I collect the phone. I say hello pastor, I beg. I don't see the Bible. I don't want die. Make I just dey come. Make I just come like that. Won't I use me do anything I want to? They don't answer me. Because the time when I take find that money don't too take. So they feel say my eyes supposed don't clear. Maybe I won't carry boys, come meet them. That's why I call them. They no pick. Lilian, I think say another day I go die. I go lock myself inside my mama's shop because they know about me when I go back the house. My aunties don't come back for the thing I don't do for them. I saw enter inside shop. I did there for like 3 hours. All our bros for streets. They don't ask me say, wait till they happen roots. Then they call me roots that year. Wait till they happen. I don't answer anybody because they say if I talk one word,
you go
say
die.
I go fall for ground, I go die.
Hey.
So I enter inside, I go they pray, say may God forgive me. I come they confess all my sins. All the boyfriends who I guess, you want to touch me for here. I say God, I beg forgive me for that one. You want to touch me for bumper. I say God, forgive me for that one. God forgive me. I come they say God, remember the way my mother carry us go sweep church. I say I look myself for mirror. I say now like this I go take die. God, if I die, my mama go die yo. I come they beg. I say God, don't go forgive me like this. I swear if I come out for this one, I don't go ever sin again. As I look myself for mirror, that's so the juju clear for my eye. I say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus for one night. Lilian.
Only you know say never one.
I never chop since morning. This is why they talk 10 p.m. Hungry no catch me since when that juju dey my eye. As I just get myself. That's how I open doors to faint on me. So I just come outside. I go meet all the bros when they come here. I say, oh God, for one I don't want me. For one I don't collect everything.
Collect your that soup.
If you see the slap where oh God they land me, the slap clear my eye. He say you, I say go let Vicky. For one I owe you dey craze. They slap me
because they craze. Why you juggle go?
They say so you won't go back when they go rape you for there. So say I go back without that money.
They don't allow you come up for them because obviously they don't know what you go do.
I'm not sure I go ever get any moments way past that one.
My sister, myself, I give you the Akachawa crown.
I say I lick. I say the place.
Take your crown.
The place where I won't die now where I lick saliva. As I just remember, I say Jesus.
Guys, we won't go chop. Maybe go chop. I need food, so I'm going through a lot. No.
I've never really told this story before. Saliva, liquor, straight. I saw I'll make sure say no one remain.
Plus, if you do for one night, you a body, you with a carrot dress.
Don't let those people owe you. I won't die that week.
All right, guys. Oh, we'll be right back. You be really a juggler girl. You put your mother for inside this.
My sister.
You're body now. You can't be doing that.
Body?
You don't use fork. You don't use fork. You're not gonna use fork to eat it.
On top of amala.
But this is so ugly.
Lily, chop face your pasta. It's your pasta. We be like, wait, I don't know.
The pasta it's from pot and pan, and they just know how to make my pasta. But I mean, I really should try this. Okay, you know what, Vicky? For the first time in my life, I think I'm ready to try amala. Why true? Okay,
don't you just always. Lily, talk true to God. Say this thing no sweet as the way they chop.
I'm going to quiet. But I mean, it's not bad.
It's nice.
It's not bad. This is actually the first time in my life I'm trying amala. I've never done. I'm sorry. Okay, guys, we have to dive into this food. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, and you know what? Be a Jesus baby. Period.